Game 3 tonight. What do you expect?
I expect. Oh man, I want to say I expect a Clippers win, but I can't. I just can't do it. I can't. I don't trust this team. I haven't trusted this team, and I only say that because we watched the absolute destruction of them for most of the game in Game 2, and then they come back. They break out the zone, they break out the full court press, they come back into the game, and they end up losing by 6, and Kawhi only has 21, and you're feeling like, all right. We didn't play our best basketball, but then I say, when are you going to play your best basketball? When does that happen? I mean, because if you can't make a game-by-game adjustment, when does that happen? I mean, I think I saw a stat on Twitter the other day that Ty Lue rolled out like 38 different lineups over the course of the series so far. Like, and it's like, dude, like, what are we doing? Like, do you not have a rotation? Do you not have a game plan? Do you not have
Well, nothing he's tried has worked, though. I mean, and I think this is one of those questions as well.
Yeah.
And this is a critical question. Has it been that Donovan Mitchell has just been purely dominant? Well, yes, of course he has been, right? I think he's been the best player in the playoffs so far the last 2 games.
Yeah.
But the question is, if you're Ty Lue, are you overreacting to that? Because sometimes there's no defense that you're going to run out there that's going to stop Donovan Mitchell. When he's shooting from the 3/4 court stripe and it's going in, you're done. Yeah. There's nothing else you're going to do about that. But I thought he did a masterful job of mixing in zone in Game 2, which got them back into that game. They got real physical. It got chippy at times.
Which they need.
Yeah, I thought that got the Clippers back into this game. So my question is, if you're Ty Lue, shouldn't you be desperate? Shouldn't you be trying to mix stuff up?
This is your season tonight. This is it. I mean, you're either going to win tonight or this series is over, straight up. I mean, this is for the Jazz, this game has zero pressure on it. There's nothing you don't have. This is not a must-win by any stretch of the imagination. You're up 2-0. You're in control. I will say, and this will probably piss people off, but the Jazz haven't done anything that's been special or miraculous. They won two games at home. You did your job, right? And NBA players will tell you this series hasn't started yet. Tonight, this will be when the series starts. If the Jazz roll out in LA at Staples Center and they win the game tonight, okay. Now you can start looking towards the Western Conference Finals, but I don't think that we're quite there yet. Do I believe the Clippers are going to win tonight? Not particularly. I don't trust this team. Like I said, I don't trust that. I don't trust that it's very simple to beat the Utah Jazz defensively, and that is be committed to forcing them off the 3-point line. And when they come into the paint, you need somebody who will be physical with them, and it's fine if you follow them. That's fine, but you have to send the message that we're just not going to run pick and roll on top and get all these wide open looks. And the last thing I would say really quick is that I'm sick and tired of watching Zubats not step up to the 3-point line. At some point, he's going to have to start doing that.
Well, and I think anytime you're getting pick and roll, it has been, nothing short of lethal.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's really brought a different dimension to this series. I think it is very difficult when you are the LA Clippers to go under screens and not have a guy stepping up. The Jazz thrive on that. And the questions are, what adjustments will the Clippers make to that? I look at the box and I look at their lineups, and it's a little surprising that Ivica Zubac is still getting heavy minutes. Well, the other night, I guess he only played 14 minutes, but I think you're going to see more of Patrick Beverley because I think when he came into the game and they switched on that zone, I think that's when the game tilted.
Yeah.
But Patrick Beverley still has that moment or 3 during a game where he'll take a terrible shot that winds up costing you a possession.
Yep.
And I think if you're Ty Lue, that's why you're a little reticent to play him.
Yeah, and you can't afford to take that bad shot because when you, as a team, you have to keep the Jazz from getting that huge momentum swing. And again, it's got to be said multiple times today before Game 3 that, again, you were playing at home, right? You should have won these games. I can't stress that enough.
Yes.
Now, I know, again, I'm not taking anything away from Don. This has been a coming out party for him. I think we can definitively say that now he's a superstar without a doubt. I mean, you're talking about like 38, 40 points a night. Like, he's doing great things, and I love to see it. But what I'm telling you guys is that this is what should have happened. You should be up 2-0. This is why getting the 1 seed was so important, so that you had home court advantage throughout, so that there was never a time when you were chasing a series, right? And that's the position you find yourself in. And that's why I say, again, everybody thinks, oh, well, you guys are hating on the Jazz. It's not that we're hating on the Jazz. It's more just about that in 7-game series in the NBA, the home team should win the first 2 games. And then it's simply a matter of, okay, what can the opposition do? Okay, well, we're back in Staples. I'm sure I haven't looked at the betting lines, but I'm sure a lot of people are giving the Clippers a little bit of an edge tonight. But I'm telling you, if the Jazz win this game, it's over. It's done. And frankly, after what they've done in the first 2 games, I would expect them to go out and win tonight, frankly, with what they've been able to do, because I don't think the Clippers are going to make meaningful change on defense. I just don't think they're disciplined enough to do it for an entire game.
Yeah, but didn't we see the Jazz make that meaningful, or that Clippers make that meaningful change, and the Jazz took a long time to react to that? I think that's what the zone did. I want to go back real quick to your point about the Jazz haven't accomplished anything.
Mm-hmm.
I would agree. Yes, they have a 2-0 lead, but they've done what they were supposed to do in that they've won 2 games at home. That's an accomplishment. But to think that this series is over, which is what we saw the other night on Twitter, what a lot of people have been saying, sweep is coming, it's a different game on the road. How healthy do you think Donovan Mitchell is? I think this is a big question. It's funny. We, again, saw Brandon Whitesides today. We were talking about the game, and he thought it was dirty the other night,
right,
with the Donovan ankle situation at the end of the game.
Right.
Looking at the replay, watching the video, I don't think it was dirty. I think it was just guys scrambling, and Donovan, they just got their feet tied up. Do you think there was intent there to injure Donovan
I think there
Mitchell?
was absolutely intent to stick his leg out. Yeah, I think. But here's what I'm saying. It's not like they're on a mission to go and hurt him. But I think when you see an opportunity, you're going to take it. So that's why I like to call it opportunistic, because it's not like they're rolling out the Donovan Mitchell rules, right? This isn't Jordan rules, and that's why I say I don't think they're going out into the game saying, hey, we want to injure Donovan Mitchell. But hey, if I can, stick my leg out and be a pain in the ass about it, I'm going to go ahead and do that, So that's why I say it was opportunistic. Was it dirty? I'm not ready to call it dirty per se. I just think that's part of, playing physical playoff basketball.
Yeah, I don't think it was dirty in any way, shape, or form. I mean, I think it just is what it is. And unfortunately, they got their legs tangled at the end there. And I think there are some people who want to spin the theory that it was dirty, and I'm telling you, it simply was not. And I don't know that it's an opinion thing. You may be right. Maybe it was dirty. I just don't see it that way.
Yeah.
I don't think NBA players go after each other to hurt them. I think there's too much respect around the league to do that. The shocking thing was, though, the Jazz let this team back into the game.
Yeah.
And that's something that is, if you're a Jazz fan, that's what you're worried about, is that you're letting the Clippers believe that they can win games in this series. And you're letting the Clippers live in a space in their heads where they're like, man, if we'd have shot better than 36%, if we'd have shot better than 47% from the field, if we would have got more than 21 from Kawhi Leonard, we win this game.
But here's the thing with that, and this is the problem I have with this Clippers team, and it just simply is, we can play the if we did this, if we did that. The fact is if you scroll down in the box score and you look at what the Jazz shot, they shot 51% from 3. They went 21 of 39. So that's the game. I don't really give a damn what the Clippers do on offense. It's all about what they do on defense. If you're going to continue to go under screens, you're going to get torched.
I don't believe the Jazz can shoot 51% in a game.
Well, nobody can. Nobody can. And that's why I say at some point, you're going to see a 35 to 38% shooting night for this team. It's just going to happen, whether it's the Clippers or the Suns or let's say they're in the NBA Finals and they finally have one. I mean, it's going to happen. But my point is, and the reason that I'm frustrated with what I've seen out of the Clippers, or really more disappointed. This is not difficult. The Jazz are not a difficult team to solve. This isn't Kobe spinning baseline and telling you to suck it because you can't get to it, right? That's not what this is. This is the Jazz saying, okay, we're going to shoot a bunch of threes, and we're going to make those at a really high rate at home. And by the way, the Clippers' defense is compounding that problem by going under all of these screens, and then Zubac doesn't set up.
It's incredibly foolish.
It's stupid. Like, it's bad basketball, and this is why I think we see all these conversations about Ty Lue not being a great coach and like all these criticisms of him, because it's not. These are not difficult adjustments.
Right, but I think you can only put guys in a position.
Right, but at some point, Zubac has to pay the price for making that mistake.
Well, and he only played 14 minutes the other night, and I think that's the price he's paying.
Yeah.
And my opinion is, Ty Lue's actually made some nice adjustments. Again, I'll say they don't get back in that game if the Clippers don't come out in zone. And I think it was incredibly effective.
Yeah.
I look at Donovan's injury though. That's going to be something to watch because clearly he's been playing injured.
He's not 100%.
And now, to me, the other night, he looked hurt.
Yeah.
Like he limped off the floor when the game was over.
Yeah.
The Bogdanovich thing, I didn't think was that big of a deal. And frankly, I just think you have so much cushion built into this series now that if Donovan only plays 30 minutes tonight, I think you have a chance to win the game. And this is going to come off crass as well. I totally understand that. This tonight will be about the Clippers. It will not be about the Jazz. The Jazz are going to do what they do. They're going to shoot 40% from three. They're probably going to make between 14 and 20 threes in a game. And it's going to be a matter of what you said. Do they adjust and step up on the three? How much zone do they play? What rotation do they play? How much Nick Batum are we going to see?
How much chippiness are we going to see?
Are we going to see Kawhi Leonard make a mid-range jumper more than once a quarter?
And that's what I mean. Like, I feel like a lot of people will say, oh, well, you guys just don't like the Jazz. And what I'm saying is, it's not that I don't like the Jazz or like the Jazz. I don't like either of these teams, to be honest with you. It's not like that for me.
It's not. You're not a fan.
Yeah,
but you don't hate either one of these teams.
I don't hate either one of them either. I just think it's really simple. This is not rocket science, man.
No.
This is really, really simple. Look, it's no secret. How long have the Jazz been considered one of the best three-point shooting teams in the league? Certainly just being modest since the All-Star break, certainly, but probably well before that.
Yes.
People. It's been said that people have been waiting for the Jazz to make this next leap into the second and the third round and maybe even a finals appearance. And so I'm just sitting here saying, like, dude, the first possession tonight, we're probably going to see Rudy come up. They're going to run pick and roll, and they're probably going to get a dunk for Rudy Gobert, and they're going to set the tone early on the road. That's what I think is going to happen. And then eventually, Rudy's going to get enough done in the middle that the Clippers are going to start collapsing, and then the threes are going to start falling. So that's why I say, what is it that the Clippers are going to have to do? I need 30 from Kawhi. I need 30 from PG. I need 20 from Reggie, and I need 15 from Batum.
I'd attack Rudy Gobert right out of the gate.
Yeah, I'd get physical with him.
You got to have at least 2 first quarter fouls on Rudy Gobert because on the road he is going to be attacking the refs. He's going to be complaining a lot. Feed off of that. Build on that frustration. Continually attack him. Do it damn well knowing that you're going to get Kawhi probably picking up a foul. Know that you're going to probably get a shot or 2 blocked.
Yep.
But if you can have him 3-4 first half fouls, now you're cooking with gas.
And we don't see that a lot, which is shocking to me. I mean, we've talked about this before, where it's so surprising to me that teams are not going after Rudy. Like, go and make him foul you. Go and make that happen. Get Derek Favors in the damn game.
All right, let's get some of your comments in here. Cody Strickland says, "Good morning, guys." Good morning, Cody. Hope your family is great. Thank you. Nuggets choked, and I feel like today will be a good win. Not sure why, but feels like a good day to win a game. Every day is a good day to win a game.
Yeah.
Tanner says, hey, guys, how was Vegas, Monty? Great. We'll talk about that coming up. Chan Theruk says, whoa, y'all not streaming at the butt crack of dawn. Amazing. I get to chill with y'all, fellas. Well, we appreciate you being here.
Yeah.
Bryce Harper says, yes, sir, there it is. The hey, yo, man. Sorry, tuning in a little late today. Well, just for you, hey, yo, man. Mm-hmm. Good to see you, Bryce. He says, crazy to watch the Nuggets right now, knowing they are a team that beat the Blazers. Suns are looking scary. So, right now, if you're asking me to pick a team in the Western Conference,
yeah,
I mean, the Jazz are clearly the best team through these first 2 games. But, boy, it's close.
The Suns-Jazz series is what we all deserve as basketball fans.
We're all here for that.
We're all here for, bro.
The way Chris Paul played last night, forget it. This team is...
I want Chris Paul and Mike Conley to play each other.
But that's the other storyline tonight that I think is really important to talk about.
Yeah.
This is why Mike Conley not playing tonight is exactly the right move.
Yeah.
Because you know what you're heading for should you make it to the Western Conference Finals.
Mm-hmm.
If Mike Conley isn't ready to go against the Suns, you're done. I don't know what you do.
I think the only thing that you like about the matchup, if you're the Jazz, is the Suns are prone to defensive issues from time to time. So, like, the Jazz have been much better about moving the ball and getting the Clippers to run around the carousel, basically. So, if they keep rolling that out, I think the thing that the Suns are thriving on right now is the Nuggets are doing a really poor job moving the ball.
Yes.
And it turns into Jokic trying to feed somebody who's not there. And, it just is this whole awkward dynamic that they have. And, yeah, I think it needs to be said. Aaron Gordon has been garbage in this series. I mean, I don't know where he went. He's been good for 15 to 20 the whole season. And just hasn't shown up.
He
and
can't shoot it right now.
Yeah, and I don't really get it. I like what he's doing defensively, but he hasn't shown up, and he needs to be accountable for that. And I think that, would I still have him on my team? Absolutely, because
but I also think, hang on though, let's not go too far without crediting Will Barton, because Will Barton being back and Monte Morris playing as well as he's playing has lessened the need to get Aaron Gordon as many touches.
Yeah, but you can't brick like he bricked, dude. I mean, that was ugly.
Well, I mean, he's entitled to go through a tough stretch of shooting.
Not in the postseason, dude.
Everybody goes through it, but he's
not in the postseason, bro. Not in the postseason.
It's not that simple. It's not as simple as, well, it's a postseason, so I can't miss. It doesn't work that way. Everybody misses. Everybody has a tough stretch. The Jazz went 0 for 21.
You know what I'm saying, though. Now is a really poor time to be bricking.
But it's not his fault they're losing. Defensively, they've been terrible. I mean, not bad, not just off. They've been terrible. The Denver Nuggets have been terrible. It's not Aaron Gordon's fault that they are down 0-3.
I didn't say it was their fault that it was his fault that they're down 0-3, but what I am saying is that it doesn't help that he's giving him like 8 points a game. Like, it would be nice if he was giving him the usual. It would be nice if he was giving him 20 points a game, but you tend to swing wildly back and forth. About
and
what?
I just
what
don't
did I
think
swing on? What did I swing on?
That he's been awful. Well, it's not really his fault. Well, what is it?
I
Aaron
didn't
Gordon
say
isn't a guy that you can expect to shoot the ball well all the time, because that's not his game. His game very much is defense and physicality at the rim, and he happens to shoot the J pretty well. But look at Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard's not shooting well. Is it his fault they're losing?
No, but he's giving him 20 to 25 a night.
Right, but he's been 30 points a game in the postseason. That's what you expect out of a guy. I expect the Kawhi Leonard who hit a Game 7 winner against Philly. Mm-hmm. I expect that guy, and he has not shown up in this series. Mm-hmm. His defense, frankly, Kawhi Leonard's defense has been a little lackluster as well. Like, not fighting through screens, not being one-on-one. It makes me wonder how healthy he is, because not taking Donovan one-on-one has really hurt them. Mm-hmm. So I just think you can't be hard on one guy. You can't go after Aaron Gordon as the why.
I didn't say it was his fault that they're losing. What I said is that they signed him to be a difference maker, and he hasn't been that.
Okay.
That's what he hasn't been.
You actually did say that. Anyway.
I didn't.
I'm not. Well,
I didn't say it's Aaron Gordon's fault that they're down 0-3. I never said that.
Well, you said it without saying it.
I said he's been garbage in this series, dude.
Guy. And Will Barton being back is a complete change for them. And they've talked about the fact that they're trying to figure out who each other is. This is the advantage. This has been the conversation of the whole series, that this is the advantage the Suns have. They've played together all season long. They have been relatively healthy. Mm-hmm. I mean, they have not lost a whole lot of game to injury. They're one of the few teams in the league, frankly, including the Jazz, the Lakers, the Clippers. Like, they just haven't lost many games to injury. So the Suns have easily the best dynamic and chemistry going right now. The Nuggets have almost none, because you're injecting these guys who haven't been there. And I think Jokic is trying to do too much. We're seeing that he is now trying to force the ball up, and you're seeing that guys like Jermichael Green are trying to force the ball up. DeAndre Ayton is eating Jermichael Green alive at the rim multiple times. So I just think everybody's struggling. And by the way, the other guy in this series that Jazz fans ought to want to know about, and do know very well, Jay Crowder is shooting the lights out. And that's not going to happen against the Jazz. He's not going to. The Jazz are very good at defending the three without fouling. You do not see the Utah Jazz foul a three-point shooter very often. Mm-hmm. And that, to me, puts an end to Jay Crowder there. James Knight says, evening, guys. Sorry I'm late Sunday morning down here, LOL. Your boy, James Knight, needs to have a big game tonight. Joe Ingles, look what happened in Game 2 when he knocked down a couple of threes. The question is, you're not going to have the building tonight. Mm-hmm. So you're not going to have that fever pitch, that 18,000 Jazz fanatics.
Yeah, you mean their home court advantage.
Yeah, the best home court advantage in the NBA.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see there. Austin Parking, what's up with you? What makes me think PG intended to hurt Donovan is that it was after the game was over, 15 seconds left, 3-possession game, no Reggie Miller on the floor. He sees Donovan isn't looking at him.
Opportunistic.
Yeah, I think that's, I don't know. He continues and he runs right at him and sets a hard pick. He absolutely intended to create contact. I just don't believe that other NBA guys are trying to hurt their fellow peers or their peers. I just don't. I think guys have been through so much and they know what's at stake. I mean, and by the way, setting a hard pick on Donovan, and I don't even really think that's how I would they got their legs tangled.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's all it was.
To me, I think it's a real stretch. I think it's a real stretch. Brian Lurk says, such a weird time to have a stream. Wow, comment dump. Such a weird time to have a stream. Don't even know you guys were on. Glad I got lucky. Monty, hope you had a great Sin City with Jake's mom. Well, it is what it is. I mean, a lot of garden planting. Of the Jazz win tonight, the entire playoffs will change. With Phoenix going up 3-0, the Jazz can't afford to take this to 7. Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah, I was really hoping the Nuggets could have a drug that series out a little bit. Absolutely. They would need drugs to drug that series out a little bit. Can't believe the transformation of Bojan's defense. That is a shocker that he has actually looked competent defensively at times in this series. And again, that's never who he's been. So is that on...
It's on the Clippers.
And that's what it feels like.
It's on the Clippers.
But he deserves the credit.
Well, he deserves the credit, sure. But I'm not going to sit here and say that Bogey is somehow much improved defensively. I mean, he definitely had some nice defensive plays. But again, and I know I keep saying this, and I don't want to come off as the guy that's trying to discredit the Jazz. Wait,
let me put you on the camera.
Yeah, so I can discredit the Jazz and be a dick on the show, right? Yeah, the problem here is that everybody is saying, the Jazz are like some amazing team, and they're doing amazing, and everything's awesome. Yeah, you're up 2-0. You handle your business at home. But things like Bogey playing defense, that has nothing to do with Bojan Bogdanovic. That has everything to do with the matchup they're giving him. That has everything to do with the fact that Paul George has continued to be a soft-ass player in this series. And I don't know when that's going to change. I don't know that it'll ever change. But at some point, you would think that they would try to take advantage of the fact that Bojan is not a great defender, because he's not.
And what I would say is, by the way, I think Paul George has gotten better every game in this series. And I have to think that Kawhi Leonard has a 30-point night tonight. I have to think. And that's what you're waiting for, Paul George and Kawhi Leonard to do it together.
Paul just never makes the meaningful shot. He doesn't make the meaningful shot. He doesn't help. He doesn't push them forward.
Because he's not a number one. When Kawhi is lit and he's playing his game and that mid-range at the free throw line's going in, Paul George is a much better player because Kawhi Leonard is playing at that level. And guys sag off, and Kawhi's an excellent passer.
Yeah.
I just don't think Paul George will ever be the guy that you can say, hand me and give him the ball, let him go win the game.
Yeah,
I don't think that's who he is.
I completely agree.
He's an elite shooter, great three-point shooter, great mid-range shooter. I think pressure bursts pipes, and I think it gets in his head a little bit. He said the other day, though, by the way, Paul George, that he takes pride in making those free throws when Jazz fans are chanting playoff.
He's 9-9.
And yeah, 9-9. He loves taking that moment.
I don't know, man. I continue to be disappointed in this Clippers team. They should be going a lot farther than they are, and I just don't think that they're going to. I don't think that they win this series at this point. I think it's highly unlikely, but we'll see.
Illerk Gnick, so is anyone taking Aaron Gordon over Bogdanovich?
Yes, all day.
Okay,
yes,
good.
I'm taking him all day.
Mick says no drops on the weekends, Jake.
Well, what do you want? What drop do you want me to play here? I mean, I don't really have the Jazz or the best drop.
Here, let me tee it up.
Yeah.
Mighty Rhiannon says Bojan playing on that tweaked ankle was impressive effort. Tip my hat to that guy.
Bojan Bogdanovic.
There you go. You're welcome. Wonder if Bojan's ankle will be okay by today. How worried? You're the one who's more concerned about that than I am.
Yeah, I'm more concerned about it because he's a shooter, and I think that I've done it myself. We've all done it. If you play basketball, you've done it before, where you roll your ankle, and it's not that it hurts or like you're like physically hurt. There's just weakness in it, and so it can be one of those things that you just deal with. It's really not a big deal, but you deal with it as a shooter. And when both of your legs aren't 100%. You wind up having to kind of figure out, okay, where am I going to get that lift in? Maybe it's nothing. Maybe, hey, he just rolled his ankle, he walked it off, everything's cool. And I hope that's the case. But I just think that was one of those where he's coming down, lands on a foot, fully rolls it over, you could see it was painful in the moment. So that's the only reason I'm concerned about it, is just because he's a shooter, and having both of your feet under you as a shooter is vital. I mean, it's super important.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things that is really interesting. And having a DM argument with Tyler right now, because Tyler, I don't know why you won't ever get into like public Twitter or into the YouTube, but it's fine. He says, I don't understand you two. Why don't you talk about another team? If you hate the Jazz so much, why don't you talk Lakers all day, Homer? Well, Tyler, because if we talk Lakers all day, you're not going to send me the disappearing, whatever you call them,
Vanish
DMs,
mode.
Vanish mode DMs that I enjoy so much on the show. Why don't you come out in public, Tyler, and get into this? Because he says that we clearly don't understand Donovan's greatness was what it was last night.
Donovan's greatness, what greatness? Help me understand this. So
we
Donovan,
said he's the best player in the playoffs right now.
I'm so glad that you said this because I've been waiting to talk about this for days. Like, everyone's saying, oh, Donovan's been great. Stephen A. Smith coming out and blowing Donovan on ESPN all night. Like, dude,
wow, was that on TV?
Yeah, it was on TV,
Stephen
actually.
A. Smith was blowing Donovan Mitchell on TV.
Yes.
Is Donovan allowed to play tonight?
Ask the medical staff.
Kids, watch that. Nobody watches First Take. But anyway, you were saying,
want more.
Yeah, I want more. Go ahead.
No, all I'm saying is that is it that we expect Donovan to only put up 20 at home? Donovan was getting wide open look after wide open look. Did he make?
But he made some spectacular shots when he had a hand in his face and was double teamed.
Yeah.
He's been the best player in the playoffs.
Yeah.
In this round of the playoffs.
We'll see what this Jazz team is when they face the Suns, and if they were to beat the Suns, we'll see what they are against Brooklyn. But I'm not going to sit here on this show and be the guy that's like, yeah, the Jazz have done amazing work. You beat Memphis in 5. You should have handled them. That's a nothing team. You handled them. You handled your business at home. You're up 2-0. Win this game tonight, and Monday, I'll hand you your praise.
Win this game tonight the way you won the first 2 games.
Yeah, dominate this game on the road tonight, and then Monday we can talk about how good they are.
But again, I would just like to point out, it's cool that the Jazz dominated game 1 and 2 for stretches.
Yeah,
you hung on to win the game at the end of the game, and mainly because the Clippers couldn't make shots, and because I don't think there's a Jazz fan alive right now who would argue the point that the Jazz had some big lapses in the fourth quarter, the middle of the fourth quarter in both game 1 and 2, where you kind of let the Clippers into the game.
You were up 20, and you won by 6.
And you got a terrible performance out of Kawhi Leonard. So all I'm saying is let's not write our ticket to the Western Conference Finals yet. Come out and win this game, go up 3-0, and the series is over.
Then we can start talking about the Western Conference Finals.
Then we can kind of,
let me put it this way. Why don't you go ahead and do what the Phoenix Suns have already done? Then we can start talking about the Western Conference Finals.
Wow. Yeah, that'd be nice.
It would be nice.
That'd be nice. Listen, I think the Jazz are the best team in the Western Conference right now. I don't think anybody's better than Brooklyn.
Don't give the Clippers hope. Don't give the Clippers life.
Well, what I was going to say before I was so rudely interrupted by my soon-to-be former co-host is, I think the Jazz are the best team in the Western Conference right now. Please don't get out over your skis. Because the Clippers don't believe this series is over. They've been too close. They've had the game at their fingertips, and they just haven't been able to grab it.
Well, and it's so funny what happened in the Dallas series. I mean, the same thing happened, and they came back. Now, obviously, Dallas is not the Jazz. I think we can all agree on that, But if you're on that Clippers roster, saying here.
But they had Luka and everybody else. And frankly, in this series, it's been Donovan and some other dudes. I mean, you've had spurts out of Jordan Clarkson, but you're really getting nothing out of the center position. I mean, Rudy's not giving you very much offensively. He's giving, the other night, I think he had 20 boards or whatever it was.
Yeah.
You got the block out of Rudy. Remember that? Well, we all remember that now.
Yeah.
Right? Game 1, you got this incredible block to save the game. Okay, so he's contributing. But most offensive possessions, you're playing 4-on-5, which leads to Donovan shooting in volume and Jordan shooting in volume. And now, listen, Jordan Clarkson's a hell of a scorer. I'm not taking anything away from Jordan Clarkson. I think he well deserved the sixth man of the year. ball's got to keep moving when Jordan Clarkson's on the floor.
Yeah.
And I think that's why in endgame situations, a lot of times Jordan Clarkson's not on the floor because you need real precise execution, right? My point is, come out and win this game. I don't care if you win by 1 or 100. Come out and win this game, and then let's move on to the Western Conference Finals after you either sweep or win in 5.
Yeah.
That'd be great. If the Clippers win this game, this is going to be a This is going to be a Donnybrook. This is going to be a fight.
And I agree with the take that the Jazz can't afford for this to go 6 or 7. You don't want that.
You can't.
You don't want that.
Because the longer Chris Paul chills and heals, because the shoulder's looking better and better and better. It is.
He got that shot back from the mid-range last night. I mean, he did.
Well, and more importantly than that, he's hitting threes again. I mean, when the shoulder was the first 2 weeks after the initial injury, the guy couldn't shoot a 3.
Yeah.
And now he's able to shoot a 3. And the Suns are, Devin Booker's dominating, even though he's not been great from 3. He's dominating getting any look he wants. Those two people, you add guys like Jay Crowder, you add guys like Mikal Bridges, you add, obviously, DeAndre Ayton playing really well. The Suns series is going to be a grinder.
Torrey Craig,
he's the guy that hits those back-breaking threes. And then when you fall asleep, he dunks on you.
Yeah.
So I'm just telling you, win tonight. Let's feel better. Let's get overconfident after you win tonight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if you're a Jazz fan and you think this series is over, save that take until the morning. If they win tonight, great. Have that take in the morning. But don't think tonight's going to be a gimme.
Yeah.
Because I don't think Donovan's 100% or even close to it. And I think the Clippers are going to be a different team at home.
Yeah.
And you're right, it feels strikingly like the Dallas series.
Yeah.
Which worries you. Rebel Prius, Rebel Uprise.
Who the f*** is that guy?
I don't think y'all realize Leonard had a bad night because he has no open shots. Defense has been good. Okay, well, I can tell you he has had a lot of open mid-range, and he has simply been short with most of it.
Yeah.
He has front-rimmed a ton of the mid-range.
Yeah, Nick.
Rudy's not stepping into the foul line like he had at the end of the previous round against Memphis where he stepped up to get that. He's not doing that because the Clippers haven't commanded that yet because Kawhi Leonard's been short with everything. I'm not saying he's getting wide-open looks. The mid-range jumper that he loves at the elbow and at the free throw line has been open all series, and he just has missed it, frankly. So I'm not saying, Rebel Uprise that you're wrong. He also says if the Jazz turn the ball over less and both wins are blowouts. Well, it's not that both – okay. The turnovers are not why these games got tight. The Clippers in Game 2, I think, shocked the Jazz with the zone. I don't think anybody saw zone coming.
Yeah.
And it was Donovan's dominance that forced them into zone. And I think that team quickly figured out, hey, this is effective. And it allowed the Clippers to get a little more space. It allowed them to finally box out as a group because Rudy was dominating that game on the boards until they went zone, and then it got a little more friendly. And I think what you saw was the numbers changed a little bit when you had, and I want to say it was Marcus Morris had 10 boards.
Yeah.
Yeah, Marcus Morris had 10 boards, and he was getting a lot of that out of that zone set. So it'll be interesting to see how much the Clippers play zone. But again, I think Danny was saying that Ty Lue made 0 adjustments. Well, I would just point to the fact that Luke Kennard was never one-on-one with Donovan Mitchell. I think he played 10 minutes, and he was on the floor when Donovan was off. So that's a big adjustment right there. I would tell you that zone was a game changer in the second half. That's a big adjustment right there. I think playing Pat Beverly up to 21 minutes and allowing him to kind of piss the Jazz off there at the top, that was a huge adjustment. I think DeMarcus Cousins getting 11 minutes and giving you 4 boards and 6 points, that was a heck of an adjustment. I would just implore you to be unbiased. Take your fandom out of it and realize that the Clippers are capable of winning 4 straight games right now. Like, the Clippers are talented enough to run you over for 4 games. You better be ready to perform tonight.
Yeah,
that's
the
all I'm
shooting
saying.
can't go away.
Yeah, you're going to need to shoot a high percentage from 3. You're just going to, because
Yeah.
they've got waves of guys who will commit fouls on you.
Yeah.
And I think, by the way, I would like a little credit from my motherfucking take on Nick Batum. Give me some Nick Batum credit.
Yeah, you were right on Nick Batum.
I hate you so much. No Nick Batum credit.
Yeah, we disagree about we're not gonna. It's semantics. Yes, you were right about Nick Batum.
Biney Rhiannon says the Clippers know they have to win 4 out of the final 5 games for 2 series in a row. We'll see how mentally tough they are in these next 2 games. Ding.
Yep.
Great take. James
Yep.
Knight says, give me a rack attack drop, Jake. Jake?
The rack attack!
There you go, James. Austin Parkins says Stephen A. Smith is high if he thinks Donovan is superior player to Karl Malone. I hate this comparison.
Here we go.
I hate this comparison.
Here we go.
Karl Malone got to the NBA Finals twice and lost with the Jazz. Okay, cool. Donovan's got to get to that level. Donovan's going to be a better player. Karl Malone's one of the best scorers in the history of the NBA. Stop comparing Donovan Mitchell to Karl Malone.
But that's what they do. That's what Stephen A. Smith does.
Right,
You know?
and which is why not a lot of people watch that show.
Yeah.
I can't. I'm not a Stephen A. guy.
No.
I am not a Stephen A. guy at all. Yeah, why did a zone ever work against the Jazz in Game 2? Shooting is what this team does because it's how you react to it. Think about the adversity in your life. Usually, it's like, okay, somebody peed on the toilet bowl.
You're so fucked.
Yeah, so the problem is you either got to clean up the pee on the toilet bowl or you got to go investigate the stuff. Clean up the pee on the toilet bowl and everything's fine, right? Okay, but the Jazz went and tried to figure out who peed on the toilet bowl. We tried to get like, I'm going to in a double team. Better shoot. Right? What did you not get against a zone that's absolutely imperative?
Guy in the middle of the zone.
You got to have somebody break the paint against the zone.
His name is Rudy Gobert, and he didn't do it.
You got to have somebody break the paint on the zone.
Your big to come to the middle and kick it back out.
Catch the ball and immediately pivot to Joe Ingles in the corner.
Wide open.
Yeah, I mean, that's that Jazz, I guarantee you the Jazz had no idea that
They'll
the
be
Clippers.
prepared.
Tonight they will be
Oh,
prepared.
yeah, they'll be prepared to break
Game 2,
the
the
zone.
Jazz
Yeah.
had no idea that they were going to see a zone.
Yeah.
No idea. Spida Cheetah. The reason why Kawhi isn't playing well is because they tried hard to get past O'Neal or surprisingly Bogey and then face Gobert. They would excel in the mid with screen from a big. I agree with that 100%. And this is the thing that's so surprising about Zubats. Zubats actually sets a good screen. Now, you would never know that because they're not asking him to set screens. Instead, you're getting a smaller slider Nick Batum, who is not setting a great screen, who's trying to roll to get an open 3.
Yeah.
You need Zubats to set a good screen and then go to the basket. That, to me, I think that's a great point, Spider Cheetah. Absolutely. Let's see. James Knight says, you guys don't seriously believe the Jazz will sleep on the Clippers. This is a Western Conference semifinal, for goodness sakes. I don't think the Utah Jazz, like Donovan Mitchell, Rudy, Quinn, none of them are going to sleep on the Clippers. The problem is the Clippers are sleeping right now. Will they wake up like they did in the Dallas series when they were 0-2? Will they win 4 out of 5? That's highly doubtful. I don't see any team beating the Jazz 4 and 5.
You're talking about going to Game 7 in Vivint and winning.
No, I don't see that happening.
Highly unlikely.
I don't see that happening. Austin Parkin says, how do the Jazz bust the zone tonight? Because we all know it's coming. Dribble penetration. It's that you have got to get Donovan, and this is where the athleticism that we always talk about on the show comes in. I'd love to see Joe Ingles put the ball on the floor and get in the paint and kick, but he's not capable of doing that. Not against the Clippers guards. He's not capable of doing that. So you need Jordan Clarkson to get into the paint and kick. Well, he's not doing that because he's going to shoot.
Yeah.
You need Donovan Mitchell to be unselfish, as he was when they were double teaming him. By the way, that was the other thing I thought was wildly effective. When they started picking Donovan up on the other side of the half-court stripe and made him kick that ball before he got it over the timeline, that's where I thought they really started ratcheting up the turnover.
I want to see that the whole game tonight. I'm not even kidding. Like, I think you need to be running that out there the entire game, and Pat Bev is the exact right guy to have to do that. I mean, that's what he does.
Mighty Rhiannon says the zone can work against Don's hero ball.
I don't know that I'd call it hero ball, though.
Well, I'm sorry, dude. And look, I know he's your best player, so he can shoot whenever he wants, and nobody's going to say 2 words to him. Is it really a good high percentage shot to shoot from the 3-quarter stripe?
No. But it's more common in today's game.
It is, but he's not Damian Lillard. And I think this team at home, the reason you like that is because the crowd is just unbelievable.
Yeah.
The Jazz fans are the best fans in basketball at home. That home court advantage thrives on momentum.
Yeah.
I get it. That shot is probably not going in on the road.
You won't see that shot on the road, I don't think.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. It will really be interesting. Once Rhiannon says once the ball moves, the Jazz are fine. The Jazz will be ready for it tonight. Yeah, I think you're going to see a really high rate of reversal.
I'm telling you, you're going to see Rudy come into the middle of the zone, and then he's just going to simply kick it back out, and then they're going to move it. They're going to rotate
All
the
you
ball.
need him to do is catch it above his head and just throw it to the corner. Because that's going to be there tonight. Cody Strickland says those Cokes sound good right about now.
Yeah.
What's the Coke bet?
Yeah,
Like in 5?
Yeah, he's saying it. I think the bet was if the Jazz win in 5, we owe them Coke or whatever. All I'm telling you is win the game tonight and then do your talking.
Yeah, then we'll get you
do
Coke.
your talking.
Give credit to Clarkson, Ruel Reyes says. Give credit to Clarkson. He's a big part of the wins they get in this series. Well, he fills it up. It's just sometimes that he kind of, he's that when you flood the carburetor.
No, I don't think people know that. Actually, to be honest.
Okay. Well, you know what I say? Like, when you're trying. What I mean is he shoots too much. He shoots too much, and when he's missing, it kills all the momentum. It's great when it's going in, but when Jordan Clarkson shoots in volume and he's a 32.8% 3-point shooter or whatever it is, he misses a lot, and that kills momentum.
My only thing here with this, specifically in Game 2, you get 24 out of Clarkson. You have a great night for Donegan. I think you had 38 or whatever it was. And you only won by 6. That's what I'm concerned about.
It's a little uncomfortable.
Everybody's singing the Jazz praise about how Bogey played amazing defense and Clarkson got his, and everybody did well. But you only won by 2 possessions at home. You would think that if you rolled out with all of that happening, you would think this would be like a 10, 15-point victory, And that's why I say it's not that I don't believe in this team, but I just think that the Clippers have more to offer. The question is, and what I have some serious reservations about with this Clipper team, is will we actually see it? When are we going to see the Clippers' best basketball? Because if it ain't tonight, it ain't happening.
The series is going to make or break tonight.
Yeah.
The series will make or break tonight.
Yeah.
I mean, it literally is. I mean, that's the whole 9. It is. I don't know how else you go about that. I really don't. All right, 20 minutes until tip-off. So let's get a score prediction. Guys, hit up the comments.
Yeah.
Score predictions tonight on the game. Javon Burgess says, I've never seen fans of a team put together strategies to beat your own team. I don't understand that. Well, there's some of that.
What do you mean?
Just talking about the game and zones and stuff, that's all. They don't make their free throws. I think why it's a double-digit lead, Illerkinick says. Tennis player says, it's principles of try less, achieve more for Clarkson.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Less is more, definitely.
What do you think for a score prediction tonight?
I think the Clippers get into the 1-teens somewhere, 112, 113, something like that.
They're going to lose if that happens.
Well, we'll see. Why would you say that they're going to lose?
Because I think the Jazz are going to score 115 before they even get off the bus.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, you would have thought that the Bucks were going to put up 120, and that didn't happen. That game was shockingly low scoring. So I'm a little curious to see. That's what I think the real question is, are they going to shoot 50% from 3 in LA?
Okay, so you're at Staples Center.
Yeah.
It's traditionally a very difficult building to shoot in. I'm going to say no Mike Conley, an injured Donovan Mitchell, who's probably only 70%.
Yeah.
112, 109 feels like the right score.
For who?
The Clippers.
Okay.
But I think if I don't want my house burned down after the game's over, I should probably. I think the Clippers win the game. I'll stick with it. 112, 109.
112, 109 Clippers.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's a little more than that. I think it's like 115, 112, 110 Clippers.
Oh, so you are taking the Clippers.
Yeah, I'm going to take them. I think it's a must-win game. I think, like I said, I'm not confident in it, but I think it's a must-win game. Like I said, if you're not going to see their best tonight, when are you going to see it? And that's my only thing. If you're not going to see their best tonight, when are you going to see it? And for that reason, on its own, I'll take them.
Chan Tharuk says 115-105, the Jazz win.
10-point win on the road.
Rebel Uprise 115-107, Jazz. That's an 8-point win.
See, everybody's in the 1-teens for the winning team, and I agree with that.
Brylark says 109-105, Clippers. Rebel Uprise says it's going to be close. Javon Burgess says 103-99, Jazz. James Knight says, I think the Clippers get us tonight by 4 in overtime.
Overtime. Interesting.
Jordan Crabtree 110-111, Jazz.
Game winner.
Ilert Gnick says 120-90, the Jazz win. That, you know what? I actually think that's not impossible.
Oh, it's definitely possible.
Out of this
No
Clipper
doubt.
team,
Yeah.
yes, it is.
Yeah, there's no doubt.
Tennis player says, Eric and Raleigh says Clippers by 20. John Mulvaney with the, I think this is the most likely scenario. John Mulvaney says 141-78, the Clippers win. I mean, you know.
I'm gonna get medieval on your ass.
Mighty Rhiannon says 112-96, Clippers.
Man.
Bryce Harper says Clippers in Cancun.
You know.
Yeah. Spencer Morgan says Boyan does deserve credit for the defense he's playing. That's never who he's been. Well, not entirely, but he didn't have really good defensive series versus LeBron in the playoffs before. Yeah, he's had some moments against LeBron. I would agree with that. But LeBron, no, don't please don't get me talking about the guy who went and begged for attention in his kid's basketball game. Please
Just
don't
take
bring
it
that
nice
up.
and easy, okay? Just relax.
Of course, I meant Drake, but
Right.
he does well against players who rely on length and strength like Kawhi. Yeah, that's not bad. John Mulvaney says, just kidding, Dallas series Clippers had no home court advantage. Because Staples Center isn't really a home court advantage.
Yeah. It's just like Dodger Stadium's not a home court
it's
advantage.
It's not a home court advantage.
Yeah.
I'm going to stick by my 112-109 Clippers.
115, 110 Clippers.
Okay. We'll see what happens.